Greetings, everyone. I am your tube citizen, J Voodoo Child, and this is Manor Lords. We have a new beta patch with a new map and cows. I'm setting up kind of a standard game, except that I am reversing the off the screen adversary or off map adversary for 3 AI opponents, and because I want to see how they're doing, and the off the map is just kind of annoying. So I kind of want to play a more casual game and just kind of play a reactionary game instead of a proactive game where I know what to do in all the situations. Okay, rich zone. I'm happy about that. All right, so I'm pausing, and let's see what game version we got. 8.0 or 0.8.097, and we got new AI layout, and this map. And woo! Look at that. That's a steep incline. All right. So I've got fish, clay, and stone, and mushrooms and fish right next to each other. And boy, this is a deep. I wonder how they're going to fish on that. That's kind of interesting. All right, that looks fun. So clay and stone. I'm actually not upset about that at all. All right, and we've got tray posts right there and right there. So that's crazy easy. I just gotta get down this hill to go there, but probably not even that. All right, so let's save this. And here are all the, you know what? I'm just gonna delete all this. Let me pause all this. Get rid of all these files. So excuse me one moment. All right, we are back. We've cleared out all the old versions of the game. So let's create a new one. Save game 00, and we're going to go. I already forgot the map name. That was Valley. And I am stone and clay, mushrooms, and I forget whether it was iron or salt. So let's just skip that. And begin. So for this game, I am going to kind of role play this more so than I have in the past. And I'm just pretty much going to kind of just concentrate on these warnings, and then just kind of react to whatever the next thing is. Or if I need to build to something else, then I'll start building the chain once I get to the need, and not just kind of know what that's going to be ahead of things. I mean, I know what most of the stuff is, but there are some changes, and so I'm just kind of going to roll with the punches on that. All right, so we got the one ox. I'm not going to do the early purchase a second ox. I'm just going to go with what we got. Let's see. All right, so we have the people screen. I like having that back. That's been back for a couple patches, and I have not played Manor Lords really in much of this year. So let's check out fertilization, because there's some oats that's going to be a major part of what we're doing. And where is that screen? That's going to be kind of important. I guess we'd go for, all right, there we go, overlay. All right, water. That's going to be the very first thing. I'm going to put down a well because I don't know. That just makes sense to me. You know, first thing that you need in the new region that you're settling is fresh water source. That's kind of important. So why does not a requirement up front? I don't know. All right, wheat. Got a little patch up top. All right, let's check elevation. All right, this is not elevated. That is surprising. What is elevated on this map? Just this area. That's kind of bizarre. All right. Is that anything that we need to worry about? We're over here, right? I guess that's one of the first things I want to do is reorient the map. Let's see if I can remember how to do that. F and G. All right, there we go. Not really a straight line, but that's just dipping down into this valley here. All right, so we got a bridge already built here. So I do kind of want to have the road going up through here. Now, one thing I've done in previous games is I put backyards down these steep cliffs. And that's doable. This is an interesting area for sure. I'm not going to have a whole lot of space to play around with either. That's kind of interesting. All right, I got iron way over here. So I'm going to build out into this little corner here. All right, so yeah, let's go back to our... All right, so no elevation. Oats. I can't go for that. No, no can do. All right. Only good over here. And here. Along a road. So. That's problematic. Not going to get a whole lot of cow action here. Rye. Ooh, we're kind of even limited on rye. Barley is less important because we have mead from honey and cider, I'm guessing, from apples. So we have a means to get alcohol without having a barley harvest. Flax, also not really needed because you can get wool and sheep, even though the shearing season, I believe, is just summer now instead of 3 seasons. So not going to be doing a lot of farming in this region. Again, just a little section over here on the end. Right on top of my starting position. Okay. So, where's my hut? I was spinning around and I've lost my people. All right, here we go. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is drop a. We gotta get to our residential and well. And well, how do we want to do this? All right, these trees are going to be what I'm knocking down. I've got steep here. Boy, I got steep everywhere. All right, let me double check to see what I can make around this hitching post, construction yard, granary. All right. So kind of everything is okay up to a point, like right in here. Yeah. So clearing out this section. Clearing out all that. Where can I put the fishing village? Is it okay over here? So it's all good there. I'm going to put the fence sign on the steep cliff. All right, so you're right at the top of the hill. So back to well. Oh no, that's not what we want. This is what we want. And I'm really picky about facing. Let's have it there. Alrighty. And where are we? All right, so what's going to be the next priority? We got fresh water. We've got 5 people in homeless tents. I think the next priority is going to be granary. Get that spoiled food off the ground. So let's do that. And, you know, normally when I'm doing optimal things, I'm building the logging camp and housing for 6 families. And I'm doing that with 5 single units. Here, again, I'm playing a different kind of play style. But let me take a look at... Yes, this is what we're looking for. Origins. What has changed in the origins? Tithing. I don't think that there's been changes here. All right. All miners' trades based on export by 50%. So yeah, this is still broken. Alright, so that's what we're going for. We're going to sell off all of that stone, rubble. Make some money there. So I think this is going to be worth 2 each. Alright. So next thing what we're going to do is if that ox is there, Yeah, whatever. All right, there we go. Okay, so next is granary. All right, let me look at this. So we need 6 cogs. And that's going to be a level 2 building. And so the very top of the hill is where we're going to have the church. That's going to be smack right here. But again, I'm not really looking at that right now. So if I want to put a granary someplace, putting wood here, logging here, and where are the supplies? Supplies are here. Alright, let me kind of see those guidelines. Why did you go back to residential? There we go. Alright. Trees uprooted for construction. We got a tree right there. We got the road on the backside. Alright, we're going to put that there. We're going to put storehouse here. And I'm just one of those silly people, so I like to line up the eaves as much as possible. Alright, and we'll just start there. Make a little road. Alright, and that's what we're doing in our little town. I guess we can build a logging camp someplace. So we want to have this here. This is going to be the church area. So yeah, let me just build a road here. Along that line. And where are we going to put the logging camp? down here. All right, there we go. Wide Valley. Wide Valley. We got stone, mushrooms, iron. Begin. Return, continue. And I just play at normal speed. 21 minutes. All right, let's see. Build your own town. Your mayor. And when ready, press claims towards regions owned by your opponents. Once a claim has been pressed, be ready for battle. I'll unite these lands under my rule. Alright, so everyone's coming around. Ox is still going to deposit a log at the very first building that was built. And you're going to go around this way because of the roads. Okay. And I've got one timber left. We'll see any changes to the mercenaries. Nope. Those look very familiar. Except for the new icons, all the same there. Alright, now we're hauling the stones out of the supplies. Getting in line. Let me take a look at the homeless tents. So, third family got the ox. So I can just assign first family to the granary, second family to the storehouse. And I guess 3 at the logging mill. Since I won't have any construction there. Alright, so we got all the stone, and well, we're just waiting on someone to build. Alright, so who is this person here building? Claws. Great. Alright, let's double check. So the very first family in the rotation got the grain. And you are next on the priority, and we just need logs and people to flatten the land. let's take a look here. You're just grabbing stuff. And I'm not going to build markets yet, even though I'll probably get running out of food, yeah. Because it's all in transport at the moment. Not enough supplies. Where's that stuff up? Yeah. Alright, there's a second log. And Myrtleen. Do you happen to be in the second family? Yes, okay. So that'll be a quick assignment there. Actually, lots of people coming over to help out. Alright, so do we have the food off the ground yet? We have the food off the ground. Okay, so I'm going to pause it. You are just waiting, so let's just transfer you over here, and you can start picking up that stuff. And we'll wait for this to get going. Now, everything is kind of temporary in my book, because once I tear these down, I get all of my supplies back. It's only when you upgrade that you'll get the last build order material back. I believe that's still the same. So if I destroy this, I'll get everything that's stored in there and all the materials that was used to construct that sitting on the ground in a little patch right here. And so I kind of will build out from this location. So what do we need for the little stone thing to go going on? All right, so just one log. That's simple enough. And trade is 4 logs. All right. So I might get started on that stuff really early and go for a horse. So that could probably be the first priority once I get rolling. All right, you got your 2 logs. You got your people there. We got... Nope, not yet. All right, who we got here? Bart. Martine, Mathis. Claus. Alright, so 3 is going there for sure. Are you Bernhardt? Bartholomew. Who's that? You're down here. Linhart. So 2, 3, and 4. All right, that is the last of that stuff off the ground. All right, and pop, 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 pop. Okay. Now we want you to get just this area here. And I've got one log left on the ground here. And normally for my first houses, again, I'm not looking to plot too small. So basically, I just want to get simple stuff going. All right, that's 5 there. So which way do we want them facing? Do we just want to build a simple road here? Definitely want to get this tree down. Okay, yeah, good. And does that give me enough space? Alright, so that will be my first 5 there. So this is just going to be the first little section here. And the logs are taking a little time to get down. But then again, I have a really small workforce, so I guess that shouldn't surprise me all that much. So let's kind of put my fingers on the screen and build a road here. And then don't move the screen. And connect that and that. And that way, when we are ready, too small. Build it out a little bit more. Get rid of the interior. And see if that's wide enough for a home. It is not. I got 3. Alright, so let's just get rid of this. And let's try and build one. see if we can build a 2 here. Nope. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Where is this little thing? Excuse me. Where is the... Is it this little button? No, that's... Tell me I draw squares. Alright, snap the roads. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, I'm not looking for that. Let's build there. Alright, snap the roads. Oh, good grief. Alright. 6. Can I increase it? Nope. Alright, I'm just going to wait for 10. Because I'm in no rush. I want to have some nice row houses. And everyone's equal here. I guess you can come out of here. Six timber. And 5 to 6 is there. All right, we can do that. Not quite as tight. All right, 9. Let's try it from this side. No, I get this crazy stuff. Alright, so we're just going to work it from this side. We get our food from the back end. Come on, one more log on the ground. We can do it. Okay, why is our ox stuck like that? There we go. Now the ox has something to do. And let's see. Now we start looking at the other stuff. We got food. Alright, so let's start thinking about the fishing huts. That requires 2. I kind of want to have the fence on that side. Even the road is on the other. What is the forager? Forager is only 1. Alright, where is my mushrooms? Way over here. So... Alright.
We don't want it to sag. Just give me a hammer and something needs to not move.
Alright, 2 timber. And we've reached April 1st. White Valley. Year 1. April. So that's going to be a little harder for me to keep up with a new UI. So we've got 2 months of food and no fuel consumption, but that's going to be an issue at some point. Alrighty.
Is this smooth enough?
Should we build the firewood over here? let's build a marketplace in here. Why can't I build that? So, yeah, there's some little starter things, and we'll just kind of see how the city naturally progresses. Alright, so I got 3. Let's get the fishing hut down. Again, we're going to put the fence on that side.
Nice work.
Alright, now we're going to think about a double wide or a proper backyard.
Come along, lad.
Alright, I guess we just have to wait for the 2 to come out.
Can I stay with the street? Let's straighten this up.
I got -1 timber. That's interesting. Let's double check to make sure that my area. Yeah. That's what's going on.
Give me a hammer and something needs to not move.
So once I get the basics set up, I'm going to start getting that rubble stone. Wondering if my granary should be down in here. Kind of equal distance here and here. As far as this and this. Probably so. Alright, what's going on here? Do we have someone die? Alright, to upgrade this, we need all that stuff and church.
Summer's coming soon.
Alright, you are working on that good stuff. Alright, and so once I get the 5th house built, settlement level changed. That's that person over there. So they got their 5th house up. I'm not that far behind them. And so the good thing about this arrangement is this bandit is going to raid this person here before they start raiding me. Now, I'm not sure whether the AI towns will start going after. Alright, finally 0 timber. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gave the old ox a handful of month-old grain. He spat it in my face and tried to carve me a new nipple.
There we go. So let's save that there. Alright, White Valley, level 2. So that will be the first video of this series. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, please subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified as I continue this campaign and just kind of play along and just slowly develop this little piece of acreage that I've got here. And kind of learn the new patch and kind of discover things with me. Please share any comments you have with this approach to the game or Manor Lords in general or this particular patch. What are you excited to see with it? Thank you all for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.